Hello, hello, sweet honeybees. I am out here at the absolutely beautiful Duck River at Chickasaw Trace in Columbia, Tennessee. This is one of my most favorite places to come whenever I am stuck in my hometown and unable to travel or go anywhere else. This river holds a very special place in my heart, not just because I'm from the area and I have a lot of memories here, but I had an extremely profound experience at this exact same spot, this exact stretch of river last year on some golden teacher mushrooms. I want to step out of my comfort zone today and tell you about my experience. This is a story about my other lives that are happening simultaneously, which means it's also a story about your other lives that are also taking place right now, because my life is your life and your life is my life. We are each the same being told by different perspectives. And every single living thing, every single thing in existence is all us. We're all one. We're all God. We're God experiencing itself. The universe experiencing itself. And I had already come to this realization earlier in the year, last year. I'm going to save that story for another time. But the moment I was swimming in this river on those golden teacher mushrooms, I became other lives. I saw myself turning into multiple different creatures as I was swimming in this river. You know, when I first got into the river, it was a lot lower than it is right now. We've had a lot of rain right now. We've had a lot of rain recently. And I swam out to the center of the river. And I just looked at the clouds. I closed my eyes. I could hear all of the birds and the insects in the forest surrounding me. I could hear each individual trying to speak. There were dragonflies just dancing across the river. It was absolutely magical. And I lowered myself down into the water to where the water was like level with my mouth and my nose. And I just started feeling the flowing waters against my body. In that moment, I transformed into a snake. I could see myself as a snake swimming in this river. Then I became a fish, just swimming in the river. I saw myself as an alligator, which we don't have here, but I know that there's alligators existing in rivers out there, and I became one. And then probably the most unusual of them all, something that I realized that my personal soul, I've most definitely had a past life as a mermaid in my own soul's spiritual development. I saw myself as a mermaid, and it was just the coolest experience. I transformed back into myself, and I just felt this full surrender in the water, and I just stopped swimming and let it start carrying me down the river some. Wouldn't do that right now in the center of the river because the current is very strong at the moment. I only got up to about belly button deep water earlier, and it was trying to pull me away. But hi, butterfly. That's how you know you're high vibe, when all the butterflies want to come land on you. They've been doing this since I got here. Yeah, I surrendered to the flow of the river. And I just started having these thoughts about how peaceful and relaxed I was in the full surrender of flow and the healing, nurturing nature of the water. And I just had these thoughts that I just want to be carried back home to the ocean, where we all come from. Even before the ocean, we come from the primordial waters. It's all water and flow and sound. We're made up of water. It's one reason why you should be kind to yourself in the ways that you speak. I struggle with that sometimes, but hey, I'm only human. I'm sure there's a lot of us that struggle with that sometimes. There's this experiment that was done by this Japanese man. Forgive me, I can't remember the name of it right now, but look up like Japanese water experiment or something. But this guy quite literally took these samples of water where he speaks different words into each sample of water, and then he freezes the sample of water and views them under a microscope. And the samples where he spoke words of affirmation to them, they had this beautiful crystalline structure. They resembled snowflakes. Whereas the ones where he spoke negatively to, they had no structure whatsoever. They looked diseased and chaotic. And the same thing goes for our bodies, because our bodies are primarily made up of water. We are water beings. Our bodies do not recognize the difference between joking and sarcasm. They just hear these negative words. And if you haven't noticed, like people who get these not so great prognosis, people that get prognosis for their life that isn't so great whenever they have diseases that can kill you, the people that stay positive and take care of themselves and love themselves tend to live a lot longer than the ones that don't. In my own personal life, I have even noticed that people in my life that have a lot of internalized self-hatred tend to develop really bad health complications. Me personally, during my worst parts of my mental health, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was having symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, which I'm almost guaranteed to get in my family. Lupus also runs in my family. I've had some not great health issues, even with my back. You know, when my mental health is struggling, I tend to have more inflammation and pain in my back as well. There's something to it, you know? Water is healing, and it's very powerful. And we are water. And it's all about surrendering and trusting. Sometimes that's hard to do. I'll admit that. You've noticed me having a hard time to do that sometimes if you have followed me at all. But that's okay. It's a process. It's not supposed to be linear. Healing's not linear. Healing's also a very messy process. Discovering yourself can be a very messy process. And we all get there in our own time. We're all on our own individual journey back home to ourselves, our true selves, as one infinite being of energy. We're just here to expand our perspectives, try to understand more, because when you're an all-knowing being, it gets old sometimes, you know? I have one other thing to share about that story. After it happens, no, you know what? I'm going to save that, because I have another video in mind where I want to talk a little bit more about the power of psychedelics and my journey and experience working with plant medicines to reach the point that I am at now, where I have more self-confidence. Even on the days where I'm struggling with my mental health, I'm not hurting myself, or I don't have the desire to end my life like I have spent most of my life feeling. I do feel like I don't want to exist sometimes, but I just feel like that's a normal part of the human experience for a lot of people, especially given how our world is and it's ruled by money and materialism, consumerism, all of these things that truly don't matter in life. So I'm going to save that for another video. I'll leave it here, just talking about my experience in the river. Oh my goodness, the birds going across the water, getting water. Love it. It's so peaceful out here. I love the bird watching the dragonflies, the trees, just the sounds. It's truly magical. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, week, month, year, life, all of the above. Stay curious, stay blessed, and I love you so much. Bye.